Sinem Ünsal reacts to the famous actress. What happened behind the scenes? Welcome to Whispers of Turkish Stars. Hello, my dear watchers of drama and truth. Tonight I'm lifting the curtain on a story that has the entire industry whispering. In just a few hours, timelines exploded, favorites traded hot takes, and one premiere turned into a season-defining spectacle. If you're ready, settle in, because what I'm about to share will shift how you've been reading every post, every photo, every glance. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications, because we always bring you the pulse before anyone else breathes it. Sinem Ünsal, long celebrated for her effortless charm and grounded elegance, has unexpectedly stepped into the center of a transformation storm, slimmer silhouette, a striking blonde tone that reframes her features, and yes, those teeth everyone can't stop dissecting. The conversation is no longer just about her craft, but about the face she showed at a night meant to spotlight a new chapter. Rumors blasted through comment sections: porcelain veneers, a calculated reinvention, a new era of Sinem. Add in the electric tension at a high-profile gala and the explosive pre-premiere chatter around the eighth family, and you've got the biggest tabloid cyclone of the season. The premiere of the eighth family at Boop Curiosism should have been about story and performances, an elegant prelude for Disney+. The red carpet looked like molten gold under the lights, the cast perfectly styled, the cameras hungry. But one brief moment, a sliver of video, shifted the focus in an entirely different direction. We'll get to that. First, let's talk transformation. In the last few months, Sinem Ünsal's style has evolved into something sharp and modern, a sleek confidence wrapping her like satin. At the premiere, close-up shots revealed a smile that seemed brighter and more sculpted than before: straight lines, a whiter shade, and unmistakable symmetry. It didn't take long for people to say the word, veneers. The reaction ranged from delight to disdain. Some praised her with glowing comments: she lights up the frame, this is the glow-up of the year. And others were quick to lament the loss of her softness: her natural look was more beautiful, a Hollywood smile doesn't suit every face, she's changed too much. Sinem? She stayed quiet. No immediate explanations, no defensiveness, no grand justification. And the silence, as always, became gasoline. Speculation multiplied. Side-by-side comparisons filled feeds, slow-motion clips of her smile were dissected like evidence in a case, and countless strangers swore they knew the exact clinic. Meanwhile, anticipation for the eighth family kept climbing, because there was another factor making this particular premiere historic. For the first time, Sinem Ünsal and Ozan Akbaba were working together on the same series, entering the spotlight as a beloved couple taking a professional leap. From the earliest whispers of development, the eighth family promised layers, tangled loyalties, jaw-dropping secrets, a family tree riddled with thorns. The trailer hinted at beautifully lit darkness, a high-stakes dance of power and vulnerability. And in the middle of it all, Sinem and Ozan, stepping into a double-test: on-screen chemistry and real-life balance. Fans called it their first true on-screen trial, the moment that would prove whether the spark you see in a candid photo could translate into characters living and breathing under pressure. But then came those clipped seconds of chaos. During the group photo, as everyone began forming for the perfect shot, the camera caught Sinem slightly behind the line. She moved forward, aiming for her place near Haluk Bilginer. Melissa Dongle, standing right there, shifted with a small surprise in her eyes. The tap, the lean, the micro-expressions shared a million times over. And with that, a harmless shuffle became a trending topic. Fight for space, wrote some. Tension at the gala game, Sinem tried to step ahead, Melissa was caught off guard. Within hours, the clip was everywhere, frame-by-frame breakdowns decorating feeds like forensic files. Humor accounts jumped in, turning the moment into a high-society sport. The gala sprint final goes to Sinem. Turkey's biggest crisis solved, red carpet square meters. Melissa's eyes told a whole novel. The most routine thing, a row adjustment for a group shot, became the week's most replayed scene. And naturally, the narrative tilted. Was it calculated? Was it a slip? Was it just one of those human moments that look like a drama when slowed down and looped endlessly? While timelines spiraled, Sinem finally spoke up, measured, dryly amused, and precise. She said what the cameras didn't: she had felt dizzy for a split second, her vision tunneling just as they lined up. Melissa Dongle reached out and steadied her. If Melissa hadn't been there, Sinem joked, she would have met the floor. The actress casually brushed off the fuss, noting that their production company shared co-producer duties with the series and that the entire team, including Melissa, was focused on making everyone shine. No room for petty rivalries in a machine this ambitious, she implied. And the online noise? She found it funny that a blink of unsteadiness had been promoted to scandal status. Still, neither the explanation nor the laughter slowed down the debate. The transformation talk kept surging. The blonde shade reframed her face, the cut revealed a sleeker profile, makeup choices emphasized angles, and the dress's clean lines, daring but minimal, traced a new silhouette that looked made for modern spotlights. Admirers said she felt international, critics insisted something essential had been airbrushed away. But here's why this particular aesthetic shift sounded louder than others. The change was rapid enough to feel like a jump cut. Social media is a magnifying glass for sudden transitions. And the Hollywood smile wave has been sweeping through Turkey. Every time a new star emerges with pearl-perfect teeth, the collective reflex kicks in. Sinem has long been known for an unaffected, approachable radiance, so any pivot from that baseline reads bigger, brighter, more debatable. Add the close-up lenses at Boop Curiosism, the spotlight angles, the cool-tone lights glancing off glossy lipstick and blonde highlights, and you've got an aesthetic illusion that magnifies every millimeter. Meanwhile, the project itself kept drawing breathless attention. Ozan Akbaba stood beside Sinem through the flash storms, offering the kind of calm that fans have seen in behind-the-scenes clips for years. Together on the carpet, their hands found each other without thinking. Together in interviews, they addressed the obvious, then returned to the work. Sinem's character, drawn as fierce and layered, eyes bright with intelligence and heart bruised by history, seemed especially tailored to her strengths. Ozan, stepping into a figure both magnetic and quietly dangerous, brought his simmering intensity to the surface. And when the trailer rolled inside the venue, an audible hush swept across the room. A hush that couldn't care less about veneers or a camera catching a wobble. Of course, the back and forth never rests. On Twitter and Instagram, two tides rose at once. One praised the glow, she looks phenomenal, she'll be unstoppable in this role, change suits her. The other pushed back, she's losing the softness that made her unique, the teeth are too much, she looked happier before. And then there was a third voice, tired of the loop, women are dragged whether they change or not. Let her be. Was her silence before the statement a strategy? A calculated PR move to let curiosity crest? Or just the way she's always handled noise, by not feeding it? Those who've watched Sinem over the years know her pattern: restraint first, humor when necessary, focus on the work. If this was a tactic, it was the softest kind of tactic, the kind that relies on time, not tricks. As for the premiere night itself? Beyond that tiny dance of positions, it was luminous. The cast moved like a constellation, stopping every few steps to answer questions or exchange quick squeezes of support. When Ozan and Sinem took their places for the photographers, the energy shifted, something steadier, more intimate than a standard power pose. They weren't performing partnership, they were living it. Later, when reporters asked about the challenges of working together, they traded a glance that said far more than the polished answers that followed. Support is simple when it's real. Inside the screening room, the first strains of the score laid out a promise of shadows and revelation. The trailer played, then a longer montage. Gasps landed in the air. A secret uncoiled in a single line of dialogue. Ozan's gaze cut through the frame, Sinem's voice softened a sharp edge. And in the dim light, the premiere finally became what it was meant to be. A doorway to a piece of art, not a battleground for timelines arguing about bone structure and enamel. But this is the age we live in. The noise won't die just because the lights go down. The morning after, the thumbnails showed the smile, the hair, the dress. And also the moment Melissa Dongle steadied Sinem, a gesture that should have been the headline from the start. A reminder that women working side by side can be each other's safety net even when the internet is convinced they're wrestling for inches of spotlight. By evening, Sinem's breezy clarification had cooled the accusations into memes, and the narrative pushed forward to the actual story. The eighth family's labyrinth of power, the sense that nothing said at the dinner table meant what it seemed to mean, and the anticipation of watching two people we know as a couple navigate love and danger through characters who aren't allowed to choose either freely. The on-screen chemistry? Even skeptics admitted it, undeniable. So where does this leave us? Right where we should be, on the edge of our seats, ready to let the work speak louder than a cropped clip. Sinem Ünsal has stepped into a bolder aesthetic and, whether it's a forever choice or a passing experiment, she owes no one an apology for evolving. Ozan Akbaba, steady and sharp, is right there with her, building a new world on screen where their connection deepens into craft. The gala hiccup is over. The season starts now. I'll be watching every angle as the episodes drop, and you'll hear it here first if this conversation takes another twist. The cameras will keep catching moments. We will keep separating story from static. Leave your thoughts below, because your take shapes the pulse as much as any headline. If you felt the heat of tonight's revelations, tap like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next chapter. This is Whispers of Turkish Stars, and we'll be back with more truths from behind the curtain very soon.